Man knows how to draw style. Man knows how to draw style. Man knows how to draw style. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. Man knows how to draw style.
You know me. I don't need no introduction and shit.
What's up? What's up, everybody? 702 Exotic back at you with another live. Let's go, let's go, let's go. And today we got a great beginning to something super duper dope. And that right there is going to be some great things coming up.
Levels feel right? Yeah, the strip quiets down when the rain hits. Feels like the whole city holding its breath. It washes the smoke off for a minute. Let you hear yourself think.
And that's what we got going on. We got the Street Files, right? And the Street Files is going to be something where we go and interview people in the trap, right? We go interview people where they got their stuff going on. So we come to you, interview you, or we can do it over here, just like this. But we could block out your face, scully everything out, change your voice. So we could do all that, right? But the whole moral of the story of this is so we can get it popping, right?
If you're really on the east side, west side, really doing things, hit up your boy 702 Exotic. We bringing it back to the streets. Real hustles, real stories, no cap. Tap in. We gonna put you on the channel. Let the world know who's really.
That's right. Tap in. We gonna put you on the channel today. So, got the number open. Let's make sure we got the number open. Y'all hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel so y'all can watch another video like this. Yeah, so we got it open. Y'all can go ahead and call in right now. The number. Put that in the chat real quick. Let me see here. Go to the YouTube before we start real quick. And then we're gonna go ahead and put that number in the chat. Y'all bear with me. Bear with me for just 1 second here. I'm gonna put the number in the chat so y'all can call in. There it is, y'all. The number is in the chat so y'all can call in. But we're gonna go ahead and rock this show off, right? We're gonna start it off. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do a Q&A, right? It's gonna be a little Q&A asking me questions. It's gonna be the first to kick it off. Episode number 1, right? Episode number 1. The beginnings. How it all started, right? How it all started. I know a lot of y'all have y'all own stories that need to be told on this channel. Like my man Piff right here in the building. Shout out to Piff. You know what I mean?
Young Dunn in the building acting bad tonight.
But today is about me. Today is about me. And question number one. What first pulled me into the streets, right? What brought me into the streets? Survival, influence, or opportunity? Well, I gotta say it's probably all three of them, right? A little bit of survival, a little bit of influences around my environment, and I gotta say the opportunity for sure, because you know, I have children, you know, and I had a child at 18, man. So because I had a child right turning 17 into 18, right? I was hustling and I worked too. So I did a little bit of electrical in the beginning. And I started noticing that, man, I'm working all these hours and getting this small little check. Well, I would invest that little check sometimes and then re-up with it. And I noticed I'd push, and I'd get these packs. And I'd be like, damn, I'm making more money over here. I'd call in and stuff like that. So that's why I would say, it was more like influence survival type thing, And how old was I when I caught my real first hustle? My first hustle was probably around 17, 18, because that's when I was driving. I didn't get my license really till I was 18. And I had a brand new Impala back then. It was in 2002. 2002, I believe. I want to say, it was I don't even remember, 06 or something like that. I had my Super Sport. That's when I got these right here. I was 17, 18 years old when I got these. Had the Super Sport. And on the IROX SS. And man, we thought we was hot shit with it, man. You know what I mean? You couldn't tell us nothing. We was riding around. And that's when my real first hustle started, in my Impala. Yeah, I had these same tattoos when I was 18, and that's when my first hustle started, when I had my Impala. And that's how everybody knew me in the city, for that Impala. You know what I mean? That's right. And then it says, did you have guidance or did you figure it out alone? Nah, definitely didn't figure it out alone. I had a lot of guidance. Lots of guidance. I had big homies, man. I had big homies I looked up to. Had big homies who were definitely doing a lot more than I was at that time, I had people I looked up to back then. Back then it was dope boy shit back then. It ain't really like that no more. Thank God the streets didn't change, man, a little bit. But back then it was all dope boy shit, For real. It was really dope boy shit. It was you had to be taken care of, especially being this young. Because remember, we was up in Vegas. They have the Rogish out here. They have the Lil Rogish, the Big Rogish. They have the Browns that was popping back in the day, and we was all in all of them. We was in all of them, man. We was down there in Naked City, so we were in all them, doing our thing. In the beginning, it wasn't just weed though. We migrated into weed a little bit later. I had an old homie tell me, like, hey, man, you tripping. You're not too old. You're young. He's like, because, you're young. He's like, you got to be getting in these party crews, getting in these scenes where old folks can't really get into. He's like, that's what you need to get into, young blood. He's like, you out here selling the wrong thing. Let the grown folks do this. And it was more like, he was kind of like, now thinking hindsight, kind of checking me, like trying to get me out the block, but he had a point though. So I'm like, damn, man, I'm out here, serving to the wrong people. So I quickly switched gears real early, and I started noticing that at my age, 17, 18, 19, 20, turning at that age, you know what I mean? There's a lot of people who can't access what good weed is, you know what I mean? So that's where I took advantage. And we're talking about back then, it was still $20 a gram, you know what I mean? It was still 20 a G. And I remember when I hit the scene and stuff like that, we were switching things up. We were starting the 2 for 20s. I know y'all remember back then, the 2 little bags for $20. And that was a deal, bro. $10 a gram was like, but you had to get 2. And I used to say 2 for 22 sometimes, You know what I mean? 2 for 22, 2 for 22. So yeah, man, that's where it kind of started right there. You know what I mean? So that's the big homies, man. Big homies really showed me the game and showed me around. Like, and I can really say his name because he ain't even around no more. He dead. He died on a dice game back then. So the homie, rest in peace, Deep South. And the Lil Rogish over there by the by Lamb. Lamb and Bonanza right there. It was Lil Rogish right there. We used to be in that spot, and he used to take care of us right there because of Deep South. They used to, you know, he was a boxer too. He was a professional boxer. R.I.P. homie. You know, but he took care of us, man. And he didn't do nothing. He didn't move no dope, nothing. He died over a dice game. Like I said, he was a professional boxer. But everywhere you went, you had to get taken care of, and that's who took care of us. We was out there, you know, doing our thing, and they knew we was with Deep South, you know. And then when we went to the Naked City, we used to get taken care of by my homie's uncle. He's dead too. They shot him, and it's crazy. They both shot him in the back of the head, and it was both my homie's uncles. You know, shout out to King James out here in Vegas. You know who you are, champ. And he used to take care of us in Naked City. So we was with Brian. That was his name. He actually still owed me for a shotgun back in the day. R.I.P. Brian though. I remember, you know, I let him, you know, he was gonna go sell it, never gave him my money back. But we was young, you know, that's how they used to hustle the youngins back in the day. We charged us to the game, you know, because he took care of us, you know what I mean? But, you know, you have to have, well, back then, you know, you had to have people take care of you, know? So that was over there in Naked City. We get took care of by Brian. He was a pimp. He didn't even sell dope. He was a pimp. He used to have his own girls and shit. And that's what a lot of things was in Naked City. Because, you know, obviously the strip was back over there. And we're talking back in the day, 2006, 2007, 2008, early days. That's before I started growing. We were still really moving. Still really, really, really moving at this time. You know what I mean? And are they still around? Most of them are dead, man. But the people who are around got businesses now. And that's what made me, you know, now change as I got older, is looking at the OGs. And I'm, you know, still kind of following the OGs, right? Still. It's like the people you still, because I only looked up to people that were doing big shit, like big shit. It wasn't no, like they would have Bentleys and shit. To me, that was big back then, you know. If they were comfortably living, a lots of money and nice cars, and they never had spots because you know, we didn't live off of having spots. We lived off of having different spots. Because if we couldn't get mortgages or nothing like that, we'll get the house shot up or whatever. We had to go. Can't get tied down to a house. So I ain't never owned a house. Shit, never, you know? And that's because of that. You know, never got credit, never got this, never got none of that. We used to pay cash for everything. So many houses we had to dip off on, so many things we had to just leave. And it's the lifestyle we used to move, you know? It's just how we lived. You know, and it still, we affected us to this day, you know? We still getting affected from it to this day, you know what I mean? So y'all smash that like button, man. Subscribe to the channel so y'all can watch another video like this. Join the Patreon, man. Make sure you join the Patreon today so you can watch the full video and get access to my genetics. That's right, baby. See y'all join that Patreon. That's right. These are the questions we're gonna be asking co-hosts, you know, because we're gonna go interview them. I got people lined up, ready. So, what was the first time I really made money on my own? On my own was when I really started going out and meeting the big plugs. Because I thought I was getting it for a certain price, but then I started noticing other people would get it for different prices, and then so the quality would change. And then I started learning how to go find and sourcing plugs. I would always call it export import, right? We needed to export import. We needed to bring something that wasn't here from somewhere else, you know. And that right there is when I really started making money. When we started exporting, importing. That started the real money right there. And we started noticing that Vegas, we're in such a spot where it's like we have a few spots that we can go to. We had Oregon, who's providing the fire indoor. Then we had California, who's providing the fire, you know, light depths and shit. Because at that time was like it was like indoor. Still is. A lot of people push light depths for indoors to this day. Right, still do that. And then yeah, that's when I really started making money. you know. Number 2, the hustle, money, power, and lessons. You know. What's the difference between hustling for money and hustling for respect? I'm gonna tell you what's the difference. For me, I think when you hustling for money, you'll step on anybody's toes. You'll do whatever to go take anything for you to make the money. You don't really think about nothing. You'll take whatever, go sell whatever to make the money. But when you're hustling for respect, like a lot of us did, we would definitely respect other hustlers that are in your space doing the same thing you're doing, collabing, connecting, right? Sourcing. We would connect. That's the respect when you hustle with other people, right? That's the difference between hustling for money and hustling for respect, I think. You know. So what's a rule in the streets you still live by today? So, no snitching. You know what I mean? Whatever someone tells you, don't tell nobody else. I think that's key to this day. That I lived to this day. You know, unless someone said that it's okay, or someone, like I said, passed away in a way where it's like the legacy could be told, you know, then that's the only way you should ever say anything. And if not, let that person say it. You know what I mean? Because you can only say stories for things or anybody who's not there no more. You know what I mean? But if you did something with someone or anything, the code is the code to this day. How do you spot a fake hustler? Me? Shit. If someone's hustling and they broke, that to me is a fake hustler. Someone don't know how to get money, that to me is a fake hustler. Because if you're doing anything, you should always find out how to make money in it, right? Always. So that's why I say that's how you spot a fake hustler right there. That's why I think.
Man knows how to cross off. Man knows how to cross off. Man knows how to cross off. Thank you, buddy. Thanks. Man knows how to cross off.
That's right, baby. That's right. What's something the streets taught me that school never taught me? What's something that the streets taught me that school never taught me? Well, I didn't really go to school that much, to be honest. So school didn't, really teach me too much but to read. Because that's the only thing I learned really in school that I remember is how to read and math and stuff like that. But man, the streets taught me everything. I learned everything in the streets. I was always in the streets. I always lived in the streets. I still hate to go inside, Even if I have the biggest house, I'm still going to be outside. Either at the ranch with some horses, always in the streets. Ever had to take a loss that changed you? Yeah, I took a bunch of losses that changed me. I could tell you about a few. One loss I took was when I got a bunch of clones, it was like 800 clones from a guy in California. Brought them back, grew them. They had all spider mites, and maybe half latent viral. Came with everything. That was a huge ass loss I took there. And remember, at that time I was just growing for growing, not growing for personal. It was to make ends meet. So I took a loss then. Another loss is, I think I talked about it on the channel before, is when I met some famous people's people and they ran off. They gave me an envelope full of stuffed money. Another time I took a loss I got robbed by, supposedly was going to be a girl I was going to meet that wanted a zip and some other things. And they ended up sending like 3 guys, and I got robbed at gunpoint there. Another loss I took was one time I broke my back and I couldn't really do much, man. That was another loss I took right there. And I fell off a horse and then got in an accident too. So I broke my back. That was a major loss. I couldn't walk for like 6 months, you know. But that happens, you know. But those are the things that change you, because that changed me right there. So it's like when I couldn't walk or do anything, shout out to my partner, you know, in crime at that time, held it down for me. If it wouldn't have been for that, man, I don't know what I would have did, but I ended up at that time owing some people. I got into it with some people, and it's crazy, like, you know, some shit just ironed out on his own on some other beef that he had, and I don't know, man. Long story short, that beef wasn't around anymore, right? Not due to me or anything that I had to do with it, but it was just crazy how that ironed out. But yeah, man, that was when I broke my back. So it's a lot of losses, man, and lessons that really taught me how to, and really shaped me, right? These trajectories that you're going on, right? And those things just change you, right? And it changes the way you live the rest of your life, you know. What's the most misunderstood part about being a hustler? I want to say that everybody's a bad person because you're out there hustling. Not everybody's bad people. There's a lot of things that happen because, you know, there's a lot of people that do you wrong, so you got to go do things. You got to go collect money. So there's a lot of things that come with being a hustler that is tied to being bad. But I think that's misunderstood, right? Because you can't sue people. You can't take them to a court of law and take them to court and say, hey, he took a pound of weed from me, right? You can't garnish his wages or nothing like that. You know, you can't take him to civil court where he goes to work and, like I said, garnish his wages over him taking your pound of weed, you know? You can't do that. So I think that's what the misunderstanding from being a hustler, you know, changes from... you know what I mean? It's the misunderstood part. All right, so we're going to move on to the number 3, right? The system, control, cops, and consequences, right? These are questions I'm going to be asking anybody who's going to be interviewing. This is Street Files, Vegas Files, episode number 1, brought to you by 702 Exotics. And soon we're going to be seeing other people do it too as well.
Stories never make the headlines. Some pain never hits the internet. But tonight, we letting it breathe. These are...
That's right, the unspoken. Nobody speaks about this stuff, man. And how has the system treated people from your block or circle? Man, I remember back in the day when we was hustling, man, they had gang units. They probably still have them to this day. They used to roll around and then put us in jail, man. Just like that. If we was out there chilling, we always had something on us. Either some weed, some pills, something on us. We had to run, all that. Anytime gang unit, anytime they pulled us over, it was go time. You know? That's what it takes. What's your take on weed being legal after people got locked up for it? Man, honestly, I think we should get all that back. You know what I mean? I think they shouldn't pay us, right? But take everything away, right? Take away the felonies, do all that, and I think that's what they're doing. But I think they should make it easier instead of getting lawyers and all that involved. I think you should go down there and just get it expunged. Like say, hey, look, boom, 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 look it over. No violent whatsoever, right? There's nothing violent in this report. Then take it off, right? Let me back up the camera a little bit. My screen was just overlapping it by just a little bit. Bugged me. So you know what I mean? That's what they should do. You should go down there, and if you had something to do with it, like I did, I got a felony, a few felonies. I think I got So I had 1 felony before that, and I ended up getting 2 after that. So that's why I got 3 felonies. One for what was it? With intent to sell, drug that hasn't been entered into commerce, because we were making shadow at that time, and that hadn't been entered into commerce, and something with moving across state lines or something, because we were shipping at that time, and that's what the DEA got involved, because it went across state lines. So ding ding ding, that's where it raised the red flag for the DEA. And then let's see. On to the next one. Do I think the justice system gives a real second chance? Nah, definitely not. Nah, they don't give second chances, man. Nah, you do the time, man. You're gonna do the crime, you're gonna do the time. You do the time, you're gonna do the crime. I'm gonna roll this up right now real quick. Give y'all a quick, small little commercial break. I'll be right back. I'm gonna just roll this up real quick right here. I'll be right here though.
Alright, listen, we opening the back door. YouTube censored too much. We taking it to Patreon, raw clips, real conversations.
Attention. 702 Exotic has just opened a private channel. This is not YouTube. No strike system, no censorship, real conversation.
Not YouTube anymore. We've unlocked something bigger. Behind the scenes strain creation, private Discord access, unreleased footage, conversations the algorithm would never allow. The Patreon. You know me. I don't need no introduction and shit.
What's up, everybody? 702 Exotic back at you with another video. Today, I'm very excited to show you guys how to grow from start to finish. How does somebody start this without any knowledge, right? We're gonna start off with genetics, the setup, tenant lighting, veg to flower, and even dry and cure. So today, guys, we're gonna show you every step of the way. So let's make sure you join the Patreon today so you can watch the full video and get access to my genetics. When people do have a voice, they get silenced. And the people that are driven are the ones that are mostly getting funded. So it's hard to beat the system, right?
That's right.
The system is built a certain way for it to succeed, right? And they know what they're doing for sure. They definitely know what they're doing.
Yo, I'll be a fan of my own videos, I
We
swear.
talked about that. I think another way to stay on top of everything is stay healthy, work out,
Hell yeah.
go run, get active, eat healthy, put the soda and chips down at least during the week.
That's right.
Do it on the weekends. Make sure you join the Patreon today so you can watch the full video and get access to my genetics. When people do have a voice, they get silenced. And the people that are driven are the ones that are mostly getting
I'm almost
funded.
done, yo.
So it's hard to beat the system, right? The system is built a certain way for it to succeed, right? And they know what they're doing for sure. They definitely know what they're doing. So we talked about that. I think another way to stay on top of everything is stay healthy, work out, go run, get active, eat healthy, put the soda and chips down at least during the week. Do it on the weekends.
Fine, exotic.
AI can tell you what your plant needs before you even see it.
Sensors read 23.6, humidity 58, pH 6.3. Feels loose, breathing. Right where it should be. Data keeps me sharp, heart keeps me honest.
It's both working.
Yeah, buddy. That's right. That's what I'm talking about, boys. Thank you for your patience. Let's take a look. So I'm telling you, we're going to be asking these to real trappers, real gangsters in their real environments.
Y'all, it's gonna be a banger. I'm telling you. I want to give a good shout out to Nesta Gibbs from the Boxing Voice, man. Honestly, I wouldn't be where I'm at. I wouldn't have what I have out down to the softwares I'm using if it wouldn't have been for my dog, for real, Nesta Gibbs from the Boxing Voice. And I'll tell you that right now, man, because great ideas come from great people, man. And that's a great... My man's been in the game for a long time, man. Nesta Gibbs from the Boxing Voice, man. He didn't taught me a lot of things. Thanks to him, man. He didn't show me how to really do this YouTube, right? And look like this in front of y'all, right? Because trust me, it wasn't easy. If y'all go back to my old channel, like I always say this, you know, it took me a while to figure everything out. To really figure it out. But that goes to my next segment. What keeps you sharp when life gets dark? Right? And I'm gonna tell you what keeps me sharp is that I know that if I can do anything if I put my mind into it, right? I could do anything if I put my mind into it. And I've done that over and over again. But I've always done it in the wrong reasons, in the wrong things. So I would build something to get to, like I would tell people, I'm starting from nothing. Don't let me pass you. And I would get all the way to the very top, to the elite level. And then boom, fall right back down to the bottom. And that's because I was doing the wrong things back then. Illegal things. But now, hanging around the right people with the right minds, you know, you learn how to do it and learn that you don't have to do it like that no more. So that's what keeps me sharp when it's dark, you know, that I know that it might not happen right now, but if I keep working, I can have whatever I want, anything I want. But there's gonna be dark times. And the dark times mostly always came when I was doing the right thing. So like when I was grinding back in the day, pushing, doing, money was just flowing. Because it's illegal money. You know? Every time I ever did the right thing, pay taxes or do anything, like it's a struggle, right? But that's why I always say if it was easy, everybody would do it, right? If it was easy, everybody would do it. Let me see. We got a call here. Let me see here. If it's one of you guys, you're gonna have to let me know down in the chat first. That way I can go ahead and answer it. So we do got a call, but let me down know in the chat so that way I can go ahead and answer it. Because if not, then you know, we don't know who it is. It's okay. We'll answer it, no problem. But I need to know. Just go ahead and message me first. Send me a message. Yep. So I ain't gonna say the number, but if you did call in, send me a message. And I'll go ahead and call that number right back. It's okay, we'll take it. We'll take the caller. But I need to know it's a real caller. So how do I stay focused when distractions are everywhere? Man, honestly, I keep my eye on the prize. You know, keeping your eye on the prize is very important with all the distractions that we got nowadays. You know, it's if you need to put the phone down, if you need to do what you need to do to get the goal, that's what you need to do. And you need to know what is the distraction. If you have distractions, you need to notice what's a distraction. Because if you don't notice the distractions, then that's a big time issue. You definitely need to know the distractions. You know what I mean? Hell yeah. Oh, Piff, that's you. Okay, cool. I got you, champ. I got you. I got you. I got you.
Champ.
Yo, Piff.
What's going on, bro?
What it do? What it do, man? It's good talking to you, man.
Yeah, bro. I just wanted to support the cause, bro.
Hell yeah, Piff. That's what I'm talking about, man. You a real day one, man. Real day one.
I ain't doing shit, bro. I'm just sitting here watching you, man.
Hell yeah. That's what's up, man. That's what's up. We just going over these things, man, because these are the things that we're going to be asking real street hustlers like us, you know, people who been there. And I think it's necessary, man. A lot of people don't do it no more. There's a lot of people who still do it within the spaces that we're in. And I feel like it's going to be amazing, bro, you know?
Yeah, bro. I'm over here. I'm growing these Tahoes, bro. I'm struggling a little bit. I got my environment right.
Yeah.
I just hit him with 3.0 EC. All right, mommy.
Okay. So, what kind of noose you running?
I'm running Floraflex.
Floraflex. Okay. You checked the runoff?
I haven't checked the runoff.
Okay, because look, anytime I got issues, man, what I like to do you all right, so you check your pH too, right? Coming in?
Yeah.
All right.
Going in at 5. It's at 5.9 right now.
All right. What I would always recommend, champ, is check that pH pen, right? Because I always use the drops because of that. Because my pH pen will go out of whack. Next thing you know, I'm putting in the wrong pH inside. So I would check that pH pen to verify. Because if you got the drops, you'll pH something to be at that level, and then check it with your pH pen, right? So first start off there, check the pH pen, and then after that, I would check the runoff, right? Check the runoff of the water, and then after that, then you're gonna have to do a flush, right? You're gonna have to flush everything as far because the ppms will tell you if it's high or low. If it's low, then obviously you're gonna need to add stuff. It means that it's deficient. You know what I mean? But if that runoff is really, really high, the ppms is really, really high, that means it could be a toxicity. You know what I mean? So
where I get locked out, right?
Exactly, yeah. So you might have been locked out, or that's how you troubleshoot those things to figure out what's really going on. Another thing, it could be, do you have any bugs and stuff like that? Because I had some, I was dealing with some aphids, thrips, my bad, thrips. I was dealing with thrips, and it was giving me some issues. It looked like my plants was deficient, but it really wasn't, bro. It was just them struggling from the thrips, you know what I mean? So I don't know if you got any
no bugs, bro.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I got rid of all the thrips, bro. My plants is thriving right now. So
this is a new cultivar. This is the first one I didn't struggle with it in years.
Yeah.
It's Tahoe different, and I think she's a hungry motherfucker. Like I turned it up. I started out with 4 mil CalMag and 4 mil CalMag and it was basically like 2.1 EC.
Okay. And then
struggling. They start getting rust spots. Like they needed more CalMag or.
And what? How long are you in? Like, are you in flower? You in veg or what?
Yeah, I'm in flower, bro. This beginning of week 2.
Beginning of week 2, and they look like a little rust. Okay, so yeah, man, they might need a little bit more food. I would check the pH though, because the pH will tell you if your pH levels are in range. Say you don't, because look, when you get that lockout, they're just gonna drink up the water and leave the nutrients behind. So that's why that pH will tell you if they're leaving it behind. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm in cocoa too. I meant to say that, bro.
Yeah, me too. Cocoa is the best way to go, man. Because if you're running in regular soil nowadays, man, that shit holds a lot of hot shit in there. You know, it's harder to grow in soil, I think.
I'm a notorious overfeeder, and the cocoa handles my approach to growing.
Yeah.
Like Pro Mix, I can't feed as much in Pro Mix.
Okay.
I know I'm gonna lock the plant out.
Yeah, man, that's how I feel too. I feel like it just holds a lot more hot inside the soil. You know what I mean? So cocoa is the best way to go nowadays. I feel with the nutrients and everything. Unless you're doing like other stuff, like I know a lot of people do the like the super organics. Like that's another thing that a lot of people do that would benefit maybe soil, right? But you know, nowadays with Athenas and Botanicairs and what you're running is better for cocoa, man. That's just the best way to go. And it's easier to troubleshoot too. So like, you know, it could be a sick plant too, champ. It could be, you know, after you troubleshooted at all those, say you're already flushed her out, you already worked everything, you troubleshooted through all those things, and it still doesn't fix up. You know, it could be you know, just genetic. I have one right now that I'm running, and she ran yellow the whole time, bro. Like I gave her the same amount of nutrients, I gave her the same amount of everything as everybody else. She's not deficient. She just yellow. She was yellow from the beginning and to the end. Like I'm about to harvest her in maybe about a week, and she was the latest.
You think she wanted more?
I don't know, but I kept giving her almost more, and she just never, I guess, took it. I don't know. Yeah. But she's yellow. She to right now. No, my lights ain't on right now. They go on like around 9. Oh, it's about they're about to go on in a little bit. And I'll bring a leaf over here and I'll show you she's yellow, bro. And you'll see the rest of them compared to the rest of them. Everything is green in the garden. Everything is like nice. Cause I always like to kind of on the overfeed. So like even if my plants look a little rubbery, green and thick, I like that. I know that's over CalMag. I know you feed your pet plants, you CalMag too much, they'll turn rubbery and green like that. You know what I mean? But I like that.
Yeah. That's why I had cut it back in veg, because I started to see darker leaves. Like they were turning real dark green. I was like, I already know what that is. That's going to turn into a toxicity.
Yes.
So I cut the CalMag back. I didn't cut the base back.
Okay.
I cut the CalMag back.
Oh, okay. So she might have
when
got
I went in the flower, I turned the light up, and I know what that light gonna do to these plants.
Maybe that's what you did right there, champ. Because when you turn that down and you kept that the same, maybe the plant was like, whoa, you know what I mean? So it probably needed that to both of them to turn down a little bit. You know what I mean? Because they'll go hand in hand with each other. So, and I feel like when you turned the light up and the CalMag went down, that's where the plant struggled a little bit. Could have been.
I turned the CalMag back up when I turned the light back up.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah, man. I gotta see that ppm. What's the ppms coming out? And I check that pH pen, champ, because I don't even use pH pens no more. I use this right here. Look, this is all I use right here is these drops, because I know this is never gonna be wrong.
Yeah, I follow the pen up with the drops, bro.
Oh, okay. Yeah, this is all I use. I just use this. So I anytime I mix anything, I'll grab a cap of water like this. I grab a little cap just like this right here, just a little cap, and then I grab a water, and then two little drops, bloop bloop, and then I know it looks like should look like dirty piss water to me, you know, like just.
Yep.
That's
5.8. That's why I do the same thing, bro.
Hell yeah. So yeah, man.
But I think I just got a new probe for the pen, right? Brand new probe for the pen. So I know the pen is capable. It might be a point off though.
Oh.
I'm gonna recalibrate it, because I did notice it ain't as pissy yellow as it should be.
Yeah, because that's why I was.
It got like a little orange tint to it that I don't usually.
That's
see.
at 5. The orange is at 5. Orange is at 5, and then so it goes 6, like a little bit pissed, like you know how you piss when you real freshly hydrated, you know, when you got like just
right, that yellow color.
Yeah, the yellow color, and then it goes to like the dark brown that when you've been drinking, you know what I mean? You know, when you've been drinking all weekend, bro, and you know.
Yeah, too far in the 6s, it turned to green.
Yeah, man. Yep. That's how I look at it. That's how I look at it. But yep, that's that dirty piss water. Pour it out, and I'm ready to go feed. And lately, I've been feeding, bro. Lately, I just been feeding every day. Feeding. 1 day of fresh water.
That's how I do it, bro. They get one water in the runoff every day.
That's how I've been doing it. Yeah.
My lights turn on 7. You know, so I can run cooler.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir. Yep. And then I just started doing that because I would give them a lot more fresh water because it was hot, man. I was running during the summertime, man. And this the weed I'm smoking right now.
Summer was hell, bro.
Ah, bro, tell me, man. And I wasn't even get.
Everybody got mold, bro. Like everybody.
Yeah, I got a little bit.
Like, I don't know. See, that's what I'm saying. Everybody I know.
Yeah.
They got a little mold, bro.
I got a little bit. Not on this here, but on my other one, I ended up.
My indoor had it, bro. That's how humid it was this summer, bro.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
I had a fucking bud, a top cola that was probably like a quarter, and trimmed it, and I was looking at it. I was like, this don't look right, and I squeezed it. It just exploded in my hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I threw it right in the trash.
Yep. You see the mini atomic bomb went in there.
Yeah, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
It's the first time I ever seen it. I've been growing for since 04, so this is the first time I ever seen that shit.
Hell yeah. Yes, sir. Hey, Piff, thank you for calling in, man. I really need this because sometimes I just, like my homie Ness be telling me, he's like, bro, my show is nothing without callers. I need callers because if not, I'm just standing here staring at a screen talking to myself. You know what I mean? And
I got you, bro. I've been here before.
Yeah, because it feels like that, man. It feels like that. It feels like we're just here by ourselves. It's quiet, bro, in here. It's like no sounds, no nothing in here, man. We got to make the sounds, and it's sometimes hard to just keep making sound, you know? So, hell yeah. We going through some of these questions, man, you know, that we face. And, you know, I feel like it's necessary to let the public know on the things that we go through, because I feel like everybody thinks it's just sweet, right?
No, this shit ain't sweet.
Right. Everybody thinks it's just...
Even when I was having my way, it wasn't sweet.
Right. It's like you always had to deal with things, man. It's always this, it's always that. And then on top of that with the grows, and that's how we make a living. So it's like on top of all the bullshit that we had to go through getting our product off, we had to really get the product to be able to be in a bag first, you know? And it's just half the battle getting the product in the bag when you're dealing with bugs and you're dealing with the people to be able to get to keep, because at that scale, I didn't really have like a nursery, you know? I kind of relied on other people to have clones and shit like that, to be able to get 200 clones, 300 clones of different genetics and stuff like that. I didn't really have that luxury at that point.
Yeah, I never had that either. I always, like, the first OG I grew came from $100 eighth.
Damn.
And the shit came out, it was excellent. And I was so green, I didn't know nothing about clones or nothing. I'm pissed every time I think about it.
Damn. And let me ask you, Pip, your first grows, bro, did you do good in your first grows?
My first grow, I learned about herms real fast.
Okay. And what did you, like, I mean, did you just think it was natural, like part of it, since it was your first time?
No, I used to go on BC Northern Lights website.
Okay.
And they had a chat. You had to talk tomatoes when you went over there, or they'd kick you out. You couldn't say the wrong thing. But I told him, explain what was going on. He told me to kill the whole crop.
Yeah, they were definitely. It was like that back in the day. It was not. What's crazy, Piff? That nowadays, like, you can get a little herm and it won't seed out your whole garden. You'll just get like a little bit. But back in the day, it'd be herm, like, It was the definition of messing up your whole crop back in the day,
Yeah, but that show you how strong the genetics was back then compared to what we dealing with now.
Yeah, you're right about that.
The male parts was dumping back then. They just skeeting right now.
That's right. Yes, sir. You're right, champ. You definitely right about that, man. I remember people were terrified of a herm. Nowadays, it's like when you get some fire genetics, you're wishing, please, motherfucker, give me
throw a seed. Yeah, please
throw me a seed. Yeah, bro.
If you want to re-veg it or clone it, you're right.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
They gotta bring that real reefer back, man.
Yeah, man. The
Right
real.
now, they got the market's in the fast lane because nobody's getting high. It's all entourage effect.
Yeah.
So you rolling a 3.5 in the backwood, you'll never. Some real OG, you'll never do that.
For real. For real.
That should put you in a coma.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, bro.
You gonna sleep the best sleep you ever had in your
Hell yeah, man. You right about that, bro. Hell yeah. That's crazy. Yeah, man. A lot of the stuff now it has been watered down, man. And that's why I think the genetics that I have, man, they're untainted, bro. That's from old school. We brought them back, bro. And it's when people, bro, hit my shit, bro, they be like, what the fuck? Damn. You know,
I'm talking about that stain weed. That shit stain you.
Yeah,
Be
bro.
all in your face, all in your nasal cavity.
Everything. And it's crazy, man, because it's like I only saw this when I went to the grower circle. Like when you walk into that facility, bro, it's like, damn. I've been in a lot of facilities doing a lot of work and a whole bunch of stuff, but man, the smell that was coming out of there, bro, because they got like hundreds of just different genetics going at one time with hella. Yeah, bro. And that's the only people that really has like, oh shit, they got that fire all the time. But in Vegas, bro, you don't really find fire like that. And when you do it, they taxing on it. But now I found a spot where I could get it for like 150 a half a zip. I know that's still taxing, right? But man, with all the
regular prices, there was regular prices, 300 a zip back then.
Yeah.
When I was growing up,
For
you know
real.
What I mean? I was 17, 18. You get you a zip for $300, $250 if you knew a motherfucker.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And
then the exotics came out and shit with medical. That's when $100 Ace became a thing. But you had to be somebody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and remember that's when the Jungle Boys really hit the scene with that fire like that. That's when it really turned into the exotics. And then I felt, it was a little bit right before that with Burner, right? With the cookies and stuff like that. That's what really took off. And then the Jungle Boys was right after that. That's why
I never liked the cookies, right? Check this story out. I never liked the cookies.
Not the original cookies?
They never sent them cured. So one day I go to my cousin, I buy a little 20 sack of cookies, right?
Yeah.
I smoke a blunt. I'm like, I put it in a dollar bill and tucked it in my coin pocket and went on about my night, right?
Yeah.
The next morning, when I pulled that dollar bill out, I don't know if the paper cured it. It was completely different.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, oh, this is why they love cookies.
Yeah, bro. I the original cookies, I don't think a lot of people remember, man. That's just not really that purple, right? It's got a little purple hues, but they come in small little nuggets, and it smells like cookie dough, unbaked cookie dough.
And it was oily.
Yes, it was.
Very greasy.
It was oily and greasy, and it was like, it looked. Remember, it used to remember in the sandwich bags that you fold without the zipper. It used to look so good, like you had a whole half zip of cookies in there. It would just be like nugget.
Yeah,
You know
all
what I mean?
across, right?
All the way across.
Right.
Oh man, that was that right there was the cookies that I remember right there. The real early. And then remember when Sin City came out with their version of cookies? That shit was fire too, bro. I remember I ended up growing that too. Their Sin City, that shit was.
Like I said, I always stayed away from it because
it
was coming fresh.
Yeah, bro.
And my cousin didn't know no better. He just moving this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it was a lot out there right at that time for sure.
Man, that dollar bill. That dollar bill, I'm telling you, it broke all the profile out the bud. The next morning, that blunt was awesome.
Hell yeah. Yeah, man. That cookies, bro, that's all we were looking for back in the day, man. That's all, anything that had cookie, we were buying it, growing it, selling it, packaging. re-rocking it, whatever we could do with the cookie, we were doing it, man. That whole movement was crazy. And it was crazy you growing Tahoe, because that was one of my first strains I ever grew too. It was the second strain that I ever grew in my second grow was Tahoe OG. Fruity.
I don't know what OG I grew the first time out that $100 eighth, but it was real easy. And I did it outdoor, and I did it with advanced nutrients. It wasn't no problem. But this shit, they angry. Like one day they praying, next day they ain't. I'm like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, sometimes I got some in the garden that just do that, bro. Like all of them be good, and it just be that one problem child, and it's like I feel like no matter what I do to them, it just, I feel like sometimes, bro, like. I was sick in the garden one day, and I was like, I was hella sick. I'm like, I wonder if I can like pass, on some high shit. I'm like, I wonder if I can get these motherfuckers sick. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, man. For real. Hey, Piff, I'm gonna let you go though, man. I'm gonna keep answering these questions to get this show rocking. But I'm gonna definitely rock with you.
I wanted to give you that boost, man. Go ahead, man.
Hey, thank you, Piff. You a real one, man. You a real one, homie.
Already, bro.
On to the next. And that's the homie Piff right there, man. He was a real one since day one. Still is a real one. And man, that's what we need right there. We need more callers. We need callers like that so we can keep this show growing and rocking. And how did the streets affect your family's relationships, right? I remember I was always looked at the black sheep of the family, right? And everyone really looked at me like I was doing really bad, at that time. Hustling in the streets, they thought I was just gonna get killed. So as far as that's really what it affected me with family, and that's about that. What would I tell my younger self, right? If I could go back, I would tell my younger self definitely to build something that no one could ever take away from you. That's what I would definitely tell my younger self. Build something that no one will ever take away from you whatsoever. Cultures now. We're going to move on to number 6, the cultures. Vegas and the real life, right? What's the difference between the east side and the west side of Vegas? Well, I always said, because I grew up on the east side of Vegas, and I always said the east side is a little bit different than the west side. And this was back in the day because the west side was also known for not having, the most money, right? You have a poor location. All type of ethnicities too. You have black, Mexicans, white, but it's more poor, right? You have people with less money over there on the west side than you do on the east side. Because the east side is not high class, or by far no high class, but it's more like middle class. You know what I'm talking about? So, especially at that time in 2007 and 2008 when we were out there thugging, my parents had lived in a new gated community out there, right? So those are all brand new homes at that time. So we were kind of like middle class. The east side was. So I always said that the east side was a little bit worse because it was bad little kids doing shit with money instead of just bad kids doing shit with no money. You know what I mean? So we had a little bit more money to play with than the west side did. So I feel like that's why the east side would be on shit a little bit more in Vegas. You know what I mean? I'm talking about Nellis, Owens, Lake Mead, Washington, all that side right there. We used to run it. We used to run it. That's what we used to run. That whole upside up into Hollywood, Sloan, that whole area, we had it on lock. We had it shut down. That's what we really moved. We moved that area. Anybody who remember these tattoos right there in that time, you know who it is. You know what time it is. But that's what we was doing at that time. So that's what makes the west side and the east side different, And what makes Vegas different from other cities? Well, I've been in a few cities. I lived in North Carolina. I've been to Houston, Texas. I've been to Washington, and those are places that I lived at. So I've lived everywhere. I lived everywhere and seen different cultures, seen different things. what I feel like separates Vegas from all of them is that there's a lot of outgoing people everywhere. You know, I remember going to North Carolina, and it was very few people that were outgoing, right? And what I mean by that, it's like you had like a few people that were really on hustle mode. You really had a few people. Mostly people were quiet. I mean, mostly people were kept to themselves. Vegas is a wild city, man. You're going to meet some wild people here. You're going to meet outgoing people here. You're going to meet people who want to network, talk, and do things here in the city of Las Vegas. And that's what I noticed since the second I came out here. It was like, go, 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 go. Talk, 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 talk. Work, 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 work. Grind, 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 grind. Everywhere you go. You know what I mean? And so North Carolina was just a little bit more low-key hustle because it's more country, more woody areas. I lived in out there, and it's more like you know, you got to drive up to the driveway. You can see them coming. You know, you pull up. It ain't that many people there. You're always like, how can you say, protective of properties and stuff like that. Not a lot of people come on your property, so you're just always like on standby. Oh, who's that? You know, here in Vegas, it's like, hey, what up, homie? What you got going on over there? You know what I mean? So it's like a lot more outgoing, more networky. You want to know what he's doing over there. You want to talk what he's doing, see what he's on. Let's go see what he's on. Let's go see what he's on. Let's go see what he's on. Hey, let's go see what he's on. And that's how it is in Vegas. That's different than everywhere else. You know, like in Cali, I lived in Cali out there too, and it's a lot of gang banging out there. So it's like, thank God I didn't really get to live out there, because even there's a lot of gangs out here, but I was always after the money more than anything, and I was always on hustle mode. And that's the difference between, you know, other cities than Vegas, because I've been in a few. And how does the hustle out here change over the years? Well, the hustle changed, and what knocked me off that hustle was when the laws changed, right? The laws is what really changed the hustle for a lot of people out here. And there's a lot of hustlers who are still doing it to this day, but, you know, that's what really changed for the hustlers is the laws and stuff like that. That's what really made people really, really change, is the laws. All right, so what's the real Vegas? The one that tourists never see is Naked City. It's right behind Naked City, too. I mean, it's right behind the Stratosphere. But there's a strip, and you go right behind that, and that's the Vegas that no one ever sees. And that's where everything goes down. That's where, like, it's really just locals, but it's a lot of local strip. Like, people walk the strip, right? They sell a lot of, girls sell themselves and stuff like that. They sell a lot of drugs. It's just like the behind where all the hustlers are at, always live, or, you know, and then they go hustle and do things. So it's like Naked City, I would say, is one of the things that the tourists never ever see here, you know. Or they never see that there's actual hoods here. You know what I mean? There's actual real life, you know, hoods here. You know, like Donna Street, you know, Gerson, all type of hoods and all type of gangs here. You know, there's a lot of gangs here, like Florence, all type of gangs. A lot of gangs out here. In those earlier days when California hit the market, when the market tanked here, a lot of people were selling their houses in California. Coming out here, we're able to buy a big ass house and then still have money left over. So that's what a lot of Cali people came over here with the gang banging. You know, their cousins, you know, tagged along. You know what I mean? And it changed a lot of things in Vegas. And you got a lot of gang bangers from Cali that are now active here that saw a market, was like, oh damn, we can really thrive out here. You know what I mean? Our gang can thrive out here. So that's what they did, you know. What would I change about Vegas if you had the power? To make more boxing gyms. To make more boxing gyms, because I feel like boxing is a good rehab for people. Have these kids in a boxing gym is to teaching them discipline, to teaching them hard work, to teach them to be able to protect themselves, defend themselves, take care of themselves. You know, because in boxing, it teaches you all of that. You have to do all that by yourself. No one teaches you how to box. You have to learn how to do it. You know, because they can tell you how to do it, but you still have to do it. You know what I mean? So that's the difference right there. That's why I think that should change in Vegas. More boxing gyms everywhere, free to the public. You know, the transition, turning pain into purpose. What made you speak publicly and tell your story? Because I feel like a lot of people are going through the same thing, right? And they see no way out. They see no way of ever changing things, right? But nah, man, it's a difference, man. You have to talk about it. You have to tell people what we are going through, because that's what's gonna help others, you know, that are going through the same thing you're going through at the time, right? For them to do other things, because it's a positive thing that comes out of everything. You know, the hustle that you're doing, you're getting money, you're saving your money, you're tapping into a market, you're promoting yourself, you're advertising, you're promoting all that, and I keep saying the same thing. You really have these type of skills that could be applied other places. You know what I mean? You have very special skills that could be applied in other places. You know what I mean? And that's where we need to learn how to apply those special skills that we have in other things. Just like business. Like, I applied all those things into the business that I had. It didn't go well, but I can't beat myself over it, because I spoke to many business owners and they always say their first business don't go well. Matter of fact, 100% of the people that and people who are I actually have access and are able to talk to a trillionaire, you know, and another one is a billionaire, not a million, with a B, and he has access to talk to a trillionaire. And they all say your first business never works. Ever. So I don't beat myself up over it. They tell me this. Did you owe anybody when you closed your business? I said, no. You won. Because you know how many businesses go out by owing people in a lawsuit? That didn't happen to you, did it? And I said, no, you won. Did you learn? I said, I learned a lot. You won. You did great. What are you going to do next? So these are the type of conversations that they have, right? And that's how you turn a street mind into some business moves, right? So what's next for you outside of the streets? For me, is working with people like this, working with other cultivation places to be able to do electrical for them, and keep working on my genetics, keep working on the content, keep doing what I'm doing right now, keep providing good content, keep communicating, keep tapped into the streets, keep pretty much the same positivity that I had before, the same everything that I had before, but apply it into what I'm doing now. Because I've always thought that if you're gonna do anything, do it right, come correct. Because this is my best potential right here. You guys are seeing the best I could do at the time right now. You know what I mean? Because that's how you have to do it, or don't do it at all, right? That's the next business moves and stuff like that. Because we do have things that are accessible, like Patreon. Make sure you join the Patreon today so you can watch the full video and get access to my genetics. So we're working. We're still working. We're working just like anybody else. We're grinding, and we're here in front of you guys. And that's what we're going to keep doing. That's what we're going to keep doing. Day in and day out, talking to people. Piv, helping out. You know what I mean? And other great like minds that be on here all the time. Mike Flynn. All the great minds. 420 Ed. Ness GTO always helping me out. Everyone. And that's what keeps it growing. Especially when they tell you you're on the right thing, man. When people tell you you're on the right page, you're doing the right thing, that's what really motivates. You know? That's what really motivates. So we're going to end it here with some quick fire questions. Right? Quick fire questions. Money or respect? Respect. Loyalty or love? Loyalty. Silence or revenge? Silence. Trap or legit business? Legit business. Weed or liquor? Weed. East side or west side? East side to this day. The system of the streets. The streets, baby. Regret or redemption? Always redemption. And with that, this is your man 702 Exotic. And we signing out, baby. To the next one.